Welcome back, YouTube. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about what's going on with AMC and what's going on with Dogecoin, so I'm going to address both of them in this video and what I believe is happening. I want to start with AMC. So with AMC, we see a lot of regulations flying out from the SEC, DTCC, a lot of these, I guess you can say, legislation that pretty much, it doesn't necessarily name AMC, but in my opinion, I believe it kind of evolves around what the situation of AMC. So, and for me, like if you look at 011 or 005, and I'll have both of those links in the description, to me, it just looks like they are creating like separation between themselves and what's going on with like Citadel and the AMC situation. Because I believe that they can see the same things that we can see. I believe that both of those companies are inside the chat rooms there. I believe they're in Reddit or Wall Street Bets. I believe Citadel is in there as well. And I believe they see the same things that we're seeing. And they're like, hey, when this thing blows up, we want to be on the right side, and we want to maintain our morality and our ethics. And they're putting legislation to pretty much distance themselves from that situation so that when it blows up, they're like, hey, we don't stand for this. This violates our policies. Even though this has been going on for a long time, and this isn't the first time this has happened, and they know good and well this happens often, I believe because of the magnitude, they're drawing separation. So when you have like that separation, it just pretty much, it's more so like as far as saving face, because when you have companies that are, creating naked shorts or in pretty much, manipulating certain stocks as far as for trading shares that are not even theirs, it begins to have people question like the stock market. And what you don't want is the people to lose faith in the stock market on a large scale. So, or have like the stock market's rigged, or how often does this actually happen? It'll raise a lot of questions. So instead of saying that, hey, we're unaware of this happen, or how did the SEC allow this to happen, or the clearinghouse, how did this get by you guys? Well, aren't you guys supposed to be looking for things like this? It'll be a better show of face if they're kind of like on top of it, or even if they're the ones that brings down the hammer themselves. And I believe that's one of the reasons we're seeing like this legislation, because squeezes are technically rare in itself. But when you're starting to have like multiple squeezes within a year, that lets you know that something's wrong. So I believe that the SEC and the DTCC, they're on top of that, and they're pretty much making moves to position themselves to be able to answer a lot of those questions and put themselves more so away from hedge funds that participate in those, and give themselves the opportunity to be like, hey, no, we're on top of it. We saw what was going on. That's why we took action. And they'll probably come out with some undercover investigation that they were working on or something like that. But we all know the truth. With that being said, regarding price of AMC, I do believe that they are going to pretty much continue shorting like right up until, I know there's a lot of speculation as far as for this whole 14 days thing to cover because of like the threshold. And I'm going to have to review that more closely before I speak on it. But as far as for shorting, they really have no reason not to. Like they're just, at this point, they're in too far deep to even consider not shorting. They really have nothing to lose, because, if you look at companies like Melvin Capital and stuff like that, they pretty much disappear after a short squeeze, and they lose credibility and pretty much what's left of their money. If I had money in Citadel after, they went through a short squeeze and lost God knows how much of their capital, I'd remove my money. So, they pretty much have nothing else to lose. So when you have pressure like this, and that a large portion of the people are going to hold, because I'm sure they're seeing the chats, and that's pretty much like the motto, okay, hold, they're paying interest. You pretty much are going to have to shake the tree to see if you can catch any like paper hands or people that are willing to sell. So if I was in Citadel's position, that's exactly what I'd do. I continue shorting. I'd hit it probably really hard to get it to go down usually probably similar to something like what we saw with the Volkswagen squeeze. And I'll put a picture of that up here. And you hit it really hard to try and catch some of those paper hands, or get people to panic, do something similar to like a flash crash. You'll save billions, because people will be like, oh my God, I don't want to lose money. They'll sell. And then, you can kind of catch some of those paper hands before it shoots up, before you start covering. So that's exactly what I do. It ends up saving a fortune. There's really no reason not to. If I was Citadel, I'd much rather pay fines to the SEC than pay, those outrageous share prices that we're going to see. So I can expect them to keep shorting and possibly expect even a dip, like similar to what we're seeing here. But I don't think that they can affect the price that much, because even with the amount of money that they were spending last week, I believe almost $1 billion, they weren't even able to get the stock down $7. So I believe that we're in a great position. I believe the squeeze is absolutely going to happen. I get really excited when I see things like turnover rates being around like 3% and the stock is down by like 6 or 7. Well, I think it was down like $6. That really makes me excited. It lets me know like how desperate they actually are, and that the amount of short volume as far as that they have, like as far as the available shares, you know, it just mathematically just doesn't make sense. And that really makes me excited. When it comes to Dogecoin, you have to look at as far as like the range, because remember I said that the range of a correction is typically 50% to 80%. So that would put Dogecoin between 36 cents and 14 cents. So even with a rally, until we break out of like that 0.36 cents, technically we're still in the correction period. Now, this rally, it's very interesting to me. I said before that I believe that the hedge funds pulled out of the crypto market to be able to meet margin. I believe Bitcoin by itself lost over $500 billion. We've seen Ethereum, Dogecoin, pretty much the entire crypto market. We've seen a massive vacuum of money out. And I believe this is pretty much to meet the margins that we're going to see here soon. So touching on what I said as far as for shaking the tree and getting paper hands to either like, you know, sell or move their money, that's also something I do. I believe we saw it something similar with like BB or like Clove, but I'd also consider putting money into the crypto market and trying to get people to move back over there to be like, oh, hey, look, the crypto market's taken off and AMC is going down. Look at that. You should possibly move your money back into crypto. You know, and some people are obviously, you know, they're going to fall for it. And again, they know they're not going to get everybody, but, you know, when you're talking shares that's going to quadruple, hit 5 times, you know, possibly be thousands, tens of thousands of dollars per share, you know, every share counts. And, you know, if you even get a very small percentage, we're talking millions, if not billions of dollars saved on their end. So for me, that's very strategic as far as from to put money back into Doge, put money back into Bitcoin, get those trending upwards, and then simultaneously send AMC the other way. Then, you know, it just kind of makes it look like, hey, look, I'm over here losing money and I could be making money over here. And, you know, if you sustain that, kind of like what we've been doing with AMC, like this little tennis game we've been playing between $55 and $60, then, you know, it just makes crypto more attractive. Dogecoin, when it went down into the teens, that was a great buying opportunity. That's one of the reasons I've been saying for months now that don't be surprised if Dogecoin dips into the teens, because that's historically what happens. And also that's where the greatest opportunity. Anything in this 50 to 80% window is a great opportunity, but when you have it reach toward that or see it gravitate toward that 80% window, that's when you have like an immense opportunity to double or triple your money, even inside of the 50 to 80% window. Because the people that bought at like 16 cents or 17 cents, they're seeing amazing returns right now, and we still haven't even broken out. I'm still bullish on Dogecoin. This is a great time. I'm still buying. I believe AMC is going to do absolutely amazing. And I believe as far as AMC goes, we're getting close to the end of this. And I believe this is why we're seeing more aggressive behavior. If you look at when I said the $55 to $60 range, you'll see that there's a lot of sell walls around the $60 mark. And pretty much a sell wall, I'll put a description in the bio, but pretty much a sell wall is going to be something you normally use by people that short a stock. And typically what you're going to do is when you have a large position that's counting on the stock to go down, pretty much you'll put a bunch of sell-offs at a certain dollar mark to get it kind of like trending down, and hopefully you can get some other shorters on board and you'll be able to start like a downward motion or get people to trade. And also they'll start selling because it'll be a familiar point like, oh, hey, it's going to hit 60 and bounce, so I'm going to sell. And it's pretty much just, you can pretty much start controlling the stock. If you have enough shares, obviously, which I believe the hedge funds do, you'll see large amounts of sell-offs at around the $60 mark, like thousands, 8,000, 10,000 shares sell off around the $60 mark. So that lets me know that there is a strong resistance there. So that's why I classify that as a sell wall. And you'll see this if you look at like the sell volume or like the live tickers. Just pay close attention when we get close to $60. You'll start seeing very strong volume as far as for to push the stock back down. Again, I like seeing that because that lets me know that I'm on the right track, and the amount of money that they stand to lose, they're being very aggressive as far as to prevent that. So that actually just encourages me to buy more. Nothing has changed. If you have bought Dogecoin, if you bought Dogecoin inside of the window, you're obviously going to be great. And if your DCA on Dogecoin is a little high, if you're around like the 50 cents or 60 cents range, don't worry, we're coming to get you. And same thing with AMC. Like if your entire average, if you didn't start buying AMC until in the $60 range or the high 50 range, don't worry, like everything is going to be okay. These are all our indicators that we are setting up to take off, especially with AMC sooner than later. I encourage everyone to do your own due diligence, but just look at the facts. Look at as far as the aggression that we see at $60. Look at the amount of turnover volume that we are seeing. Even if it's low or we have no volume altogether and the stock is still going down. Look at the people that are retiring or transferring from Citadel. There's a lot of things that are aligning that's saying, hey, we're on the right track here and things are moving forward. Look at the legislation that's coming out now, and not necessarily naming AMC, but it kind of applies. Just do your own due diligence, and then you'll be able to see that things are aligning just how they should be, and that we are on the verge of something historic. I'm going to provide several updates this week because I believe that we're going to see some action primarily around the long weekend, because the stock market is going to be closed on July 5th in observance, and I believe we close at 1 p.m. on Friday. So I'm definitely going to be watching very closely because I know that we're playing chess, not checkers. So I'm going to be watching very closely and providing updates. If I don't make a video, check the community section because I'll be communicating there or on Twitter as well. If you're looking for a new brokerage, I recommend Webull. If you open an account with $100, they'll give you 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600. If you're not on YouTube like that, please consider following me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll have both of those links in the description as well. And if you'd like to be a part of the email list where I send out research, that'll be in the description, as well as join the Patreon I have where we'll do live Zoom calls together. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.